Today we're going to take a look at how to make the North Sea Star ornament. This beautiful pattern is actually pretty simple with its fun dangle here at the bottom. It might look delicate, but it holds its shape and it's quite sturdy. I've had this one floating around my desk for a while now, and if you follow me over on Pinterest, then you have probably seen the pin I created there. It had such a positive response, and a lovely woman named Sue reached out asking kindly if I could show her how to make one. So I hope you all enjoy. Let's go ahead and look at the supplies that you're going to need. Here on the little tips are 2mm Bicone crystals, and you're going to need a total of 11. On the other points of the star are 4mm Bicone crystals. And they're also down here at the bottom. You'll need a total of 9. The main center part are 6mm Bicone crystals, and you'll need a total of 18. And for seed beads, we're using all the sizes. These are size 15 seed beads, size 11 Delica cylinder beads, size 11 round beads, mine are Miyuki, and size 8 round beads. These are also Miyuki. You'll need a total of 48 of the 6mm Bugle beads. Don't forget to check out the video description for a list of all the supplies. And a fun little side note, this wheel contains all 2mm Bicone crystals in different colors, and it came from Hobby Lobby a few years ago. You may be able to find it at your store, I don't know, or maybe you already have one. And the crystal color used in that star right there are Preciosa Caribbean Sea AB. And the ones today are a blue zircon AB. And again, the round seed beads are Miyuki. And I like the bright sterling. And I just want to share my needle and thread preference for this project. A size 12 beading needle is good since we're working with size 15 seed beads and multiple passes. And I'll use a fire line in crystal so it doesn't show through the actual crystals so much. You'll need 5 feet of thread on your needle and begin with the size 6mm Bicone crystals along with the size 8 seed beads. And go ahead and pick up 6 of the size 8 seed beads. Bring them down near the end of your thread and needle back through all 6 of those. You want these to form a loop. Take your tail and knot it onto your working thread, putting 2 knots there, and then needle all the way around one more time. Since this is the start, you want to be nice and secure. And come 1 or 2 beads past the original knot. Trim off the tail. Completely ready to go. Pick up 1 bicone, 1 seed bead, a bicone and seed bead, and 1 more of the bicones. Come back through the one here in the middle that your thread is exiting. This forms almost a triangular shape with the 3 beads, and then needle up 1 crystal, pulling those all tightly into place. Now we'll need another triangle. We have 1 wall of the triangle already, so we're going to pick up a seed bead, a crystal, 1 more seed bead, and 1 more crystal. Come through the next seed bead here in the center, pulling that together. And then this one where they share the crystal, needle through there. We're going to come around and down through this one. Just continue following the thread path through the beads. back towards the center. And then needle through one more of the seed beads in the center. You'll pick up one bicone, one seed bead, one bicone, and one seed bead, and then come down through this bicone here and back through the seed bead here at the base between the two bicones, pulling those tight. Needle up your bicone, picking up a seed bead and a bicone, a seed bead and a bicone. Come through this seed bead here in the center. And then up through here. Coming back around, just follow the thread path. Needling back towards the center, and then through one more of your seed beads. We're going to end up with a total of 6 bicones here in the center. We're going to pick up one more bicone, another seed bead, one more bicone, and seed bead, and then coming back down through the crystal here towards the center, and then needle through the seed bead here at the base of the 2 bicones, pulling it tight. The only thing left here is connecting the outside edge, coming through the bicone. You'll need one seed bead, one crystal, and one seed bead, and come back down through this bicone, and then come through the next seed bead here in the center. So now that we have this part, it is the center of the snowflake, but it is double-sided. Make another center part, but not repeat the edge. So what we're going to do is first needle up to the edge, coming through the crystal, then come through the seed bead and crystal. So you'll be exiting one of the edge crystals. Pick up one seed bead, one crystal, one seed bead, one crystal, and one more seed bead. And then needle back through this crystal that your thread is exiting. And then needle up to here to this point. So come through these two and through here. And then pick up 5 more of your size 8 seed beads. Come back through this one that your thread is exiting, pulling those together to give you a center point of 6 seed beads. Retrace these one time until you come back to the one between the 2 crystals, exiting the seed bead that sits between the 2 crystals. This center circle of 6 and this one are going to sit on top of each other to give the double layer effect. We'll try to make this a little easier to see. We'll slip a piece of paper in here between the 2 layers. We're going to come through the next seed bead. So we have the one triangle here, and we're going to make another triangle here. We have the one side and the top, so we just need one bicone and one size 8 seed bead coming through the one here on the edge. Let's pull this all into place. You can see that that gives you another triangle shape of bicones. And then pick up one more seed bead and come down through this bicone here and pull it into place and back through the seed bead that sits between the 2 bicones. So you have 3 of the center bicones on. Remove this for a minute. See, it's a little more hard to see. But you want to make sure that you end up with 4 seed beads between the outer bicones. Slip this back in, come up through your bicone. You're going to pick up 1 seed bead and come through the outer edge. And then 1 more seed bead and bicone, making 1 more triangle, coming through the seed bead here. So now you'll have a total of 4 bicones here. Come up this one, back through the seed bead and bicone, and then come down the seed bead and bicone towards the center. Needle through the next seed bead, pick up 1 bicone and 1 seed bead, needling through the bicone here on the outer edge, one more seed bead, coming back down through this bicone here, and then come through the one here in the middle between the 2 bicones. You can see that there are 5 central bicones. We need to do 1 more. Needle back up the bicone, pick up 1 seed bead, come through the crystal on the outside edge, exiting the crystal here on the edge, picking up 1 seed bead and 1 bicone, so back through this, coming through the seed bead, needle up towards the outside edge again, through the seed bead and bicone, and next seed bead, and back down towards the center. So we're all connected on every side except for here. Needle through the seed bead here in the center, come up 1 crystal, and like I said, you want to make sure there's 4 seed beads on the outside edge between every crystal. Here we only had 3. All we're doing on this last step is putting a seed bead on each side of this crystal. So picking 1 up and coming through the crystal. Now you have 4. Again, pick up 1 seed bead, needle down the next crystal towards the center, and through the seed bead here between the 2 bicones. And now we're going to start working with the bugle beads. Come up through the crystal towards the outside edge, then 1 seed bead and 1 crystal on the outside edge. The first round of bugle beads uses the round size 11 seed beads. Pick up 1 bugle bead, 2 of your size 11 seed beads, and 1 more bugle bead. And just needle into the next edge 6mm Bicone crystal. It's going to sit like that. Repeat that combination all the way around. Coming through just the edge crystal. You may have to finagle it with your fingers. You do want it to sit pretty neatly. There we go. It's going to pop into place. Repeat that all the way around. Then we're going to be adding the little crystals next. Needle through your bugle bead in one size 11. Pick up one of the 2mm Bicone crystals and a size 15 seed bead and bring them down the thread next to your work. Skipping the 15 on the end, needle back through the Bicone and into the 11 and other bugle bead of the point. Pulling the 15 in crystal on the end. And then you can always, again, just finagle it with your fingers, making it nice and tight. So you'll want to do that for all these points. Come through the crystal, down the bugle bead and seed bead, picking up your 2mm Bicone and 15, bringing it next to your work. Skip the 15, come through the Bicone, the 11, and back through the bugle. Pulling that into place. So go ahead, repeat that around, and I'll meet you right here. So bringing the last 2mm Bicone in size 15, close to everything else, needling back through the Bicone, the 11, and bugle bead. And pulling that tight. Next, needle through the size 6mm Bicone crystal. And we're going to do a bit of a turnaround. So now you're exiting your Bicone, and we're going to come down to the middle, through the size 8, through the next Bicone, towards the center, through a size 8 in the middle, and then needle up one more of the Bicones, and into one size 8 before the Bicone. So your thread is exiting the size 8, pick up one bugle bead and 2 of the size 11 cylinder beads and one more bugle bead. Then needle it down through the size 8 on the other side of the crystal. We're going to do that all the way around. Come into the next 8, your bugle, 2 cylinder beads and bugle, and then needle into the 8 past your crystal, into the very next 8, and repeat that all the way around the side. Add the last set of bugles and cylinder beads, and then come up the 8 bugle bead and 1 cylinder bead. You're going to pick up one more of your size 11 Delica or cylinder beads, come down through the next one, and you pull it so it sits right there, forming a bit of a triangle shape, and repeat that all the way around for all these points, adding one more cylinder down the next ones, and pulling it there. Go ahead and finish the other ones, putting on the last size 11 cylinder, coming down through these. So we have this layer, sort of a middle layer with the crystals on the ends already. And we're going to repeat what we did here on the other side. So returning to where our thread is exiting, needle through the triangle shape formed by the bugle beads. So your thread's now on the other side, and turn it over. Come into the first 8. And now you're going to repeat all these steps one more time on this side. So you take your 2 bugle beads, 2 cylinder beads, and you're going to go all the way around. So you come into the next 8 just like you did on the other side. Just continue all the way around. So you have the double layer. I'm going to add the last set of bugle beads. I'm going to add the last set of bugle beads and cylinder beads coming into the 8 here. At this point, my thread is getting short, so I'm going to add another 4.5 feet of thread to continue working. I'm going to do it right here so the knot hides between the 2 larger size 8 seed beads. And again, on this side, don't forget to pick up 1 cylinder bead to come down the next cylinder bead, bugle bead, in size 8, forming that little triangle shape there on top so it matches with the other side. So go ahead and add the single cylinder bead on the rest of the points. I'm just adding the last cylinder bead on the point, coming back down and through the 8 and exiting the size 8 seed bead right here. So now we're going to look at this triangle shape here. We're going to be needling up here to this one, coming through the 8 and bugle bead until you're exiting here. So now we're going to fill the space between this one side and this side where the little crystal shows on the edge. Pick up a 4mm Bicone crystal, coming through the one on this side. So the bicone will sit here in the middle. Come back through the bicone. And then we're going back through this cylinder bead, picking up 6 of the size 11 seed beads, coming through the cylinder bead on the other side, and then 6 more of your size 15 seed beads, needling through the cylinder bead here. So you can see how they wrap around the little crystal. I'm just going to retrace the circle of seed beads, coming back around and exiting the Delica bead here. But we also need to put a loop of seed beads up here to hang it from. I'm going to needle through 3 of the seed beads. I like a pretty big loop, so I'm picking up 18 of the size 15 seed beads and then needling through the 3rd one on this side. So now what you need to do is needle back through all the 15s that you just added, continuing along all the 15s that you added. You can see that all this needs pulled tight. Do that by needling through the third size 15 here and pulling the thread. Just working it down. So now you have this loop of beads on top to hang your ornament from. So bring your thread until you're exiting a size 15 just before the Delica. I personally just don't like to see the whole of the bicone, so I'll pick up one more of the Delica beads, skip over this one, and come into the 15s and pull that into place to sit right here so it hides that hole. Just a little finishing touch. I'll do that on both sides. Just continue around the 15s until you're exiting the 15 before the next Delica. Picking up one more size 11 Delica bead, skipping this one and coming into the 15s. Continue needling through the 15s and exit the Delica here. Now we're going to needle over here to this Delica, dropping down through your beads, and then come up the next 8 Bugle and Delica, and through the one here at the point. So this time we don't have to attach anything to hang it from. We're just doing the bicone and size 15s around it. So picking one up and needling through the one on the other layer, pulling it between them, back through the bicone, and coming back through your Delica bead. And you want to try to pull it so it sits between them as much as possible. Picking up 6 of the size 15 seed beads. Needle through the size 11 Delica here, so they wrap around your bicone, and then 6 more, coming back through your Delica to retrace all these beads one time. So I've come all the way around my beads one time. I'm exiting the Delica. If I need to come back through the first 6 seed beads, coming through 3 15s, and the next 3, and then it's just a personal preference, so you can't see any hole of the bicone. I'll pick up one more Delica bead, skipping over the one that's there, and come into the 15s on the other side. Just get it to sit on top of the cylinder bead that's there, and then work your way around until you're exiting the 15 before the next cylinder, and then again adding one more cylinder bead, skipping this one, coming into the 15s, needle through the rest of the 15s, and now I need to come over here to replicate that on this point, and then come through the Delica bead, exit the Delica bead here at this point, and then come down your Delica bugle bead and 8 towards the center. But we need to be over here at this point, so we're going to come down through here, up and over, down through the crystal, through your seed bead in the middle, up a crystal towards the outer edge, and then coming up here until you're exiting the one here at the point. Go ahead and make another one of these. right here, and then we'll do the drop at the bottom together. So now I just need to show you how to do this bottom part. Now I need to show you how to make this bottom dangle. After you added the second tip, needle down and come up until you're exiting the bugle bead this time. Then pick up 2 cylinder beads and come down the bugle bead on the other side. Now you have 2 cylinder beads here between the bugle beads. Now we need to come up through the next bugle bead, continue down through the 8, 1 crystal towards the center, step through the seed bead here between the bicones, and back up this bicone until you're exiting this bugle bead here. Exiting the bugle bead, pick up 2 more of the cylinder beads and come down the bugle bead here on the other side. So we have the 2 Delicas between the bugle beads. Again, we just want to come around, so we're coming up through this bugle bead, down the 8 in crystal, towards the center, through the 8 here between the bicones, and up the next crystal, through the 8 until you're exiting the bugle bead. So where we just added the 2 Delicas, we're going to come through one of them, pick up 1 more, and come down the next one, forming another little triangle point, just like we did here in the front. We're doing that on the side now. Just needle into the next set of 3 Delicas, coming through all 3 of them. And then here, again, we just have the 2 that we added, come through one of them, add 1 more Delica, and come down through the next. So you're adding that point there. And turn it in my hand. And work my way up to the next point. So coming through 2 more Delicas. 1 and 2. Now you'll need the 4 2mm Bicone crystals. Pick one up and come into the point Delica on the next set of 3. Turning it, picking one up and coming through the point Delica on the next set of 3. So we have 2, 1 more, 3, and 1 more. Coming back through the Delica here where you started. So now there's 4 of the 2mm bicones here. Come through 1 more. You're going to pick up 1 more Delica and come into the next 2mm bicone. It's going to make it sit kind of on top of the one below it. Repeat that between all the 2mm bicones. 3 Delicas and 1 more. And now I just want to retrace these top beads one time. After retracing them one time, exit the Delica, pick up 5 size 15s, and come into the next Delica, 5 15s. again into the next Delica, 5 more, into the next Delica, and then 5 more, coming back through the Delica before all the 15s. So it should be looking a little bit like this. Come up 3 of the 15s, pick up 1 4mm bicone, and needle through the third 15 above the next 2mm bicone. So again, pick up a 4mm bicone, needle through the third size 15 above the 2mm. Repeating that with the 4mm bicone, coming through the third 15, and then the last 4mm bicone, coming back through the third 15 where we started. So now it is looking like this. I'm going to pick up 4 of the size 15 seed beads, the 2mm bicone, and 1 more 15. Bring those up here next to your work, skipping the 15 on the end, come back through your bicone, pulling this up, pick up 4 more of the size 15 seed beads, and needle back through the 15 that's at the between the bicones, kind of even up the bead on the bottom, come through the bicone, the 15, the next bicone. So we're going to turn it over, come through the bicone and the 15, picking up 4 of the seed beads, needle down through the bicone, come through the 15 at the bottom of it, and then needle back up through the bicone, pick up 4 more seed beads, and come back through the 15 here, and then retrace through your bicone. So this is the bottom little dangle. Now you just need to add 2 more of your 4mm bicones and seed beads for the points, just like you did on this side. So I'll start working back towards the center through the Delica, and then this direction. And then coming down the Delica bugle bead in size 8, needling up to the other point so you can add your other star ends. And getting in position to add the other 2 4mm bicone star ends. After you complete the last 2 4mm Bicone crystal star points, I find the easiest way to end off the thread is by coming back down to the center circle 6 size 8 seed beads. Follow your thread path down to the center and just retrace the center 6 seed beads before trimming off your thread. And as always, I hope you have a beautiful day.